We're live. Deets, how you going, mate?
Hey, good. How you, Josh?
Great to have you on, mate. Really, really a pleasure to have you on here. And I'm sure that the people who are coming in to say hello and to talk to us and chat with us today are going to be equally happy to see you here, mate, because you're a very familiar face on YouTube. You release some kick-ass videos on your painting tutorials and videos. You uploaded one yesterday, which I haven't had a look at yet. I've seen your picture on Instagram of the Greater Demon of Nurgle. Looks fucking kick-ass, mate. Honestly, it's awesome.
Man. Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm pretty excited to be here. So yeah, we're gonna chat some Olden Demon, which I'm really excited about. But yeah, no, I put that video up yesterday. I've been trying to pump out a few here and there. So yeah, it's been pretty good.
Good on you, mate. Thanks, Nick, for coming to join us.
Yeah, thanks, Nick.
And who else we got? Grim DM. Let's go. Okay, and then we've got my good friend Matthias as well.
Awesome.
Of course, it's evening over there. It's early morning for Deets there.
Yep.
Is it 7 o'clock? It's 6 o'clock there, isn't it? 8 o'clock, sorry, 8 o'clock. It's always an hour after.
You know, I've already been up, had the coffee, gone for a walk the dog, back in time to chat some Oldhammer. So perfect.
Good on you, mate. Now, of course, Deet's voice is not unfamiliar to the Crown of Command because we had you on as a guest on our podcast just recently, talking about how you got into the hobby only very recently too, which is it really surprised me how like, you know, you've only been involved with painting and collecting.
A couple of years now. Yeah, a couple of years paint. I've always loved it, and always I suppose, you know, being a 90s kid, and we talked about it more in the first podcast, but yeah, being a 90s kid, I was all about it. And then about 2 years ago, I started painting properly, you know, so
yeah,
I think it's about going on 2 years now. Yeah. So painting. So it's been a hell of a ride, plenty of fun. The missus is not happy about it, spending a lot of money on too much old metal bits and pieces, but you know, she'll survive. She'll be right. You know, I think everyone knows what that's like. So yeah.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, my wife doesn't know anything about what I do, which is fantastic. Yep. She's completely oblivious to it, and long may that continue. I think that's a really good relationship I have with my missus. Yeah, she just sees stuff. She just sees big stuff, and she just walks on by. Yeah,
yeah. You picked the right.
She doesn't know anything about it. And the same for me. Like,
have you been busy, Josh? Have you been busy?
Yeah, me.
Yeah,
mate,
I've seen you pumping out a few videos.
Crazy busy. Oh, that's the video. The video side is very limited. Like, I have very little time to do it. Yeah. I think people know that. I've just been commission painting's my 95% of my income. So it's basically just pumping out as many miniatures a day, getting them out, and you just saw probably a deluge of stuff on Instagram of
all the Chaos Dwarves
commission.
I saw all the Chaos Dwarves.
Chaos Dwarves.
Yeah.
Yep. And Eldar. Did that for a mate here, good mate Nick here in Japan. So yeah, loving my work. I love that, but it's very demanding as I need to pump out a load of stuff.
Yeah. How did you find the Chaos Dwarves? Because you're saying you never really painted many Chaos Dwarves before that? You know me, I'm a Chaos Dwarf fan.
I know you are, mate. Yeah, no, and your stuff looks great. Yeah, but yeah, I hadn't really painted many at all, and I did one for a painting lesson for Brian, because Adam sent me some plastics, the monopose plastics, which I really like those models, and you've painted some as well. And I think they're just a really cool looking monopose plastic figure from that time. And so he was doing his Faberzel Chaos Dwarf army, and he wanted to learn some like a painting tutorial on that. So we did that together.
Yep.
And I think that was really the first one I ever painted. And then I know I did a couple lead metal ones as well. Adam sent me a couple of metal halberdier and a blunderbuss, and I did them as a test model. And then when I got the commission,
once you start,
yeah, no, honestly, they're really good. I really, really enjoy painting them. I think visually they're really beautiful looking arming on the table, that red and black and all that. But yeah, it was a joy to paint. I painted most of it when I was at my son's school, because my son had an accident and broke his leg, and I was at school in the like the meeting room downstairs. And I spent most of the days painting them, and the kids were really interested in what I was doing. They looked at the book and looked at the miniatures. They were quite fascinated. I don't think they've ever
Bloody
seen
hell,
anything.
man! You're getting a few, teaching them a few bad habits. Soon they'll be getting home. Come on, let's, where's my Warhammer? Oh no, the parents wondering what's going on. Who's this bad influence at the school?
But I think, like, if they think this is expensive, look at the modern Games Workshop stuff, mate. It's
Exactly
just
right.
insane. One
it's
model.
crazy.
Someone sent me a model here the other day of a Chaos Champion dude. It cost 5,700 yen, which is about $60 Australian.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Take the 2
probably in
zeros
Australia's
off.
more.
Yeah, it's crazy. Isn't
really
it?
expensive. Yeah, a bit of plastic, mate. That's all it is. Bit of plastic.
I know, and even the second-hand market here in Australia is it's been like, I know you shouldn't jump on eBay and buy it because it's just bloody pricey. But sometimes when you're trying to find something and you can't find it anywhere else, you just have to pay the price. But that's all right, just the way it goes. So yeah, but it's all prices are going up. It's never ending.
Never goes down, that's for sure.
No, that's for sure. Yeah.
So we've got a few more people joining the chat. So thank you very much for joining us today. And we've got Kobe Lad.
Hey, Kobe Lad.
David Sampson, sorry.
5 p.m. in the US, Central.
Black Label Painting. So it must be another commissioned painter out there in the US there.
Perfect. What is it? Friday afternoon in the US. The weekend's about to start. So Ross, thanks, Ross.
Awesome, Ross. Yeah, go and check out the awesome new Anvil of Doom video on the Nurgle, Greater Demon and Nurgle. It's really, really looking nice. I'm going to watch that today.
Yeah, give it a watch.
That is normal, Nick almost says. Okay.
It is, Nick. It is.
They're an investment. Certainly are, mate. You just got to convince the wife.
They're never going to go down in price, I believe. So, yeah.
Yep.
I was thinking about getting buried with mine, so I don't think I'm going to sell. What is it, golden hands, whatever they call it. So yeah, so I'm going to.
I had a really interesting comment on YouTube one day saying that he really liked my collection of high elves and dwarves and orc and goblins. He said, are you ever going to sell it? And I just said, mate, I'd rather be buried with them than having to part with them. But
that's what I feel too. Just don't let the when I get a bit older and the missus gets her hands on them, like where they'll go. So you be careful. Gotta be careful. But I just gotta find more room for everything. So I got no room anymore. I'm like got boxes piling up behind me here, and I'm like, oh shit. So yeah. Yeah,
when you come to my place, mate, when you come into Japan to my place, you'll see from Japanese houses generally. You've been to Japan before, but the limited amount of space they have. And I'm up to the rafters with stuff, mate. I need to build shelving up on the walls and everything now to put stuff there, I think. So, yeah. We've got David Simpson. Yeah, building a big Kastorf army. Shit's about to break me, I bet. Yeah. Oh, well, like you say, worthy investment. Love all you guys' work. Thank you very much. Okay. So what's Cobulate saying? Painting 4th edition Skaven whilst I listen. Awesome.
Beautiful.
Great stuff. I followed Deet's video on the Deathmaster recently too. Keep the Skaven coming. Yeah.
Will do. Yep. I've done the Deathmaster and a Screaming Bell. So, and I've got a pile of more Rat Boys to go. So yeah, hopefully soon.
Good on you, mate. Now, what's the regiment? What's the regiment you painted? Because you don't like painting mass units. What was the unit you painted up recently?
I've got a box of Island of Blood behind me. Half Skaven from I think it's like the 8th edition. So I got a bunch of those guys. I hate batch painting, but I still do it because
batch painting,
it gives me a really good feeling at the end. But yeah, so I got a bunch of them. Yeah. But I think the next I'm going to have a little break from batch painting because the last one kind of broke me. So I've just been kind of enjoying myself for the last few videos and just doing models that I find kind of fun and I look at and go, yep, I want to paint those. So, but the next one's going to be a really fun one. So actually I'll show it to you guys. I got this guy right here, this siege tower.
Oh, you lucky bugger. I've always wanted one of those.
Yeah, how much you want I got one of those. Cost me an arm and a leg, but I got one.
Yeah, I bet.
So that's probably the next video. And I was thinking about making like an Avaland theme, colors and flags and stuff on it. Doing a little bit of not kit bashing, but a little bit of maybe a little bit of kit bashing on it. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. So yeah,
great, mate. That's wonderful.
There you go, sneak
Yeah,
peek.
just show the wife the label, the price, the original price label on it, and
Yeah, I'm like,
you'd be right.
yeah, $70.
Well, it cost
It's
me
all good.
$50. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine. All right.
Okay, yeah, that's a holy grail, mate. That's a holy grail, especially in a box. It's
I
a
know,
holy
and it's still
grail,
got
that
the
one.
plastic on it. I
So
reckon a few people are going to get mad at me opening it, but I probably can't help myself.
yeah,
So sorry, guys.
that's awesome. Okay, that's brilliant. Okay, guys. So thanks very much for your comments, and please keep them coming. If you want to ask, if you want to ask Deets anything, please go ahead. That's why we're doing these live streams, so you have interaction with the folks out there on YouTube, and so please don't be shy and come and say hello. But of course, the main theme of the show today is to look at some of the Olden Demon entries that our good friend David has organized for the last 4 years. He's allowed people to enter miniatures from the 90s in with Goblin Green bases, hopefully, into his competition. And now, as I interviewed him, that was the last podcast I brought out for Olden Demon, interviewing David. He just at that point released a whole gallery. So if you go to www.oldendemon.com, I think it is, you can see the 2024 entrants. So you can see all the entries for 2024. I said to Deets, it wouldn't be a great idea if we did our top 3 of both fantasy and 40k categories and give our own kind of judging, because I know it's really hard, and I know David has a really tough job.
I don't envy him, because that is just, and just scrolling through all the entries, if you go onto the website, and I spend a good couple hours just looking and going, changing my mind back and forth, and and especially with photos and online, being an online painting comp, it's really, really hard. So he does an amazing job. So it is such a fun, and that time of year for me, the Olden Demon is like the funnest time of the year, I think, for painting, personally for myself. So bloody love it.
Yeah, mate. Yeah. Now your entry was outstanding, mate. Honestly.
Oh, thank you. So was
like I said,
yours.
I'm really. Well, Azag the Slaughter is still not very happy. He's still sulking down there because he wasn't chosen as any of the wasn't even chosen as like a runner up. So he's still after David's blood now. So
yeah. No, just entering is the hard part. So you should pat yourself on the back for that. So, and it looked great too. So
yeah, that was like me coming back from the hospital with Leo and then having 2 days and just thinking, okay, I'm just going to do this and then enter it, and that's it was just like a last minute thing. But I'm really glad I did it.
You chose a large model, like a lot. There's a lot of just single, the smaller minis, and you chose a larger model, which is pretty bloody hard to get done in that amount of time. So you did well.
I think also about the larger models, they're going to be. It's hard to photograph a larger model, and I think they sort of don't get the limelight as the single miniatures do, because you can really focus in nice and close, and we're going to talk about that.
Yeah, we'll talk about that soon, because I know exactly what that's like. Yeah, you feel like you don't get much in frame, and you can't really get right in there. So yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's tougher. And I noticed that there weren't many large models entered in the Olden Demon competition. I think that's one of the detractors, because it's really hard to photograph and it's hard to get the. So we have a look at that, and I actually chose one of them myself in one of the entries, because I thought this poor bugger's put a ton of effort and work into this, so he really deserves some credit. But yeah, we're going to talk about that. And other things about why we chose what we chose, and
it'd be interesting to see if we chose some that are the same. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, that's what I'm really interested in. Like, if we chose the same thing or we chose completely opposite kind of things. I went for a very particular criteria. So let's get into it now, anyway, because I think
let's get into it.
We should get it. So okay, I'm gonna load up mine now.
Yep.
And we're going to start off with our top 3 40k entries. So just before we get into it, I'm going to just say that my criteria was Goblin Green base. That was pretty much a must. Obviously, the paint job is obviously very important. It's got to really scream out at me like 90s Games Workshop, 90s Golden Demon, that kind of thing. And photography. So they were the 3 criteria I went for.
Yeah.
So 40k entries, let's get into it. Here we go. So after just having painted one of these myself, I know how much bloody work is involved in doing one of these, but 2 of them was amazing. So really good paint jobs, very technical. Look at all those hexes on all the the checkers on the red gargant, mega
Man,
gargant there.
I haven't attempted many checkers yet. I think I've done like one of like an orc I painted, but even that was hard enough. So that's a lot of work. And to do 2, man, that's crazy. Like, yeah. I was looking at this too. So yeah.
Yeah, mate, I spent hours and hours and hours on my yellow Bad Moon Gargant, so I know how much work goes onto that. So yeah, for me, okay, it doesn't have a goblin green base, but those cactus do, so that qualified. But see, yeah, it screams 90s, mate. This, you know what I mean?
And Simon's gone all out. He's even added some the cactuses and everything too. That's a massive entry. That's a big entry. So yeah. And as what you're saying before with photography wise, like you can't, obviously you're not going to get that detail or anything like that. And it's really hard, like unless you wanted to do like a series of 10 photos per mini, but you can't submit 10 photos per mini or whatever it is, and it's one entry. So yeah, but he's done really, really well there. Love that yellow. And yellow famously, some people do find it a bit hard to paint. But he's done a really, really good job there. So, and some free hands on there too. Like, man, that ticks all the boxes.
Deets, this is a good opportunity, mate, to share your yellow recipe with the listeners, mate. So, how would you approach yellow?
No worries. It's pretty easy. Well, I've been experimenting a little bit. What do I use? I've been using Avalanche Sunset a little bit, but I also have my main one I go to is kind of what is it? Bronze Flesh Tone by Vallejo. So they use that as a base. And then I slap on a wash of Seraphim Sepia all over. And then I kind of go back over, avoiding all the recesses with some more Bronze Flesh Tone. And then I add some Uriel Yellow into the mix and start building up to a pure Uriel Yellow, and then some Dawn Yellow. And then I work my way up to a pure Dawn Yellow edge highlight. And then I mix in a little bit of white for the corners and stuff like that. So I do find that works really well. I haven't tried it on larger flat surfaces, like the Gargant here. Like I haven't tried it on that stuff, so I'm not too sure how to go with that. But I know it does work. I painted up I've been putting a little bit of yellow on my Chaos Dwarfs lately, and it's working really, really well. And I also did it with some my Avalanche Archers, which I thought turned out pretty well. I really liked it. So yeah, write that one down.
Yeah, that sounds very detailed, but yeah, I think like you said, like for smaller areas that would work really well. Yeah. But for larger flat areas like this model here, like for me, I just like primed it white and airbrushed it. I kind of cheated. I airbrushed it yellow. And
man, I need to get an airbrush. I need to get one.
Get an airbrush.
I feel like people would hate me if I did though, because I see all they're like, oh, another airbrushing, because not everyone can own an airbrush, unfortunately. So I understand that. Yeah. But yeah, I need to get one. So make life easier.
Well, I will say for terrain, especially, an airbrush is an absolute must. And for large models like this, for tanks, anything like that, you want a nice, clean, clear initial layer. And then I go in with the inks and, start building in the depth with the orange and yellow ink and glazes and everything. Yeah. So it's not an easy fix, but it gives you that nice initial finish to work from. Yeah. Ben Whiskey and Wizards, he does the same thing. He has like a blue miniature. He airbrushes it blue and then goes in from there. So it's a way to just bring a nice layer to it, initial layer, and then work from there. So
I could probably produce videos. Yeah, I could probably produce videos faster if I did it that way. I'm sitting here bloody Stone Age, just layering and going insane. So, but yeah, anyway, but it's good job by Simon here. Like that's and as we said, those larger models are really hard to see the detail and stuff like that. So he's gone all out and deserves it. Well deserved.
Yep, absolutely. I love the little the bunkers with the epic miniatures inside it. I think they're orcs or space marines or something in there. They're brilliant. Really, really good. I think it's a great entry. Okay, that was third place. So
basically built a table instead of a mini. He just built a full, the whole thing. So good on you, Simon.
And I hope Simon is actually playing epic Titan Legions with these models. That'd be really nice to see. They're actually using. I can't wait to use mine actually now. Yeah. Okay, so it was third place. Well done to Simon. Second place, I thought this was just outstanding from Steve Kind. I think this is just screaming to me. It just that's the thing. I want that impact, and you got it with the paint job. Technically brilliant. The goblin green base, of course. He's got some wood elf pubic hair on the base, but that's okay. I'll pass that because I don't particularly like using it myself. But for this, it's very nice and short, and I think it looks nice. It doesn't.
It looks good.
You know, when you got those long strands or those big tufts, I don't really like it. I think it distracts from the paint job. But
trim
this
your
one
tufts.
looks good.
Trim your tufts. That's the golden rule.
Like you do on yourself. You got to trim your own tufts,
right.
and you got to do that on your bases too. Yeah,
exactly right.
No one wants big, hairy, bushy tufts. I mean,
no. Steve's got Steve knows how to trim a tuft. I'll tell you that much.
He does. No, it's nice. It works well, and I like that kind of tuft look.
Yeah, and what he's done there, because I follow Steve on Instagram, and I was pretty much up to date with his whole process as he was going.
Yep.
He also did a squig, I'm pretty sure, for the fantasy one. Beautiful looking little squig as well. But
yeah, he did.
I watched him as he was painting this, and man, I was just like, this is I thought he was going to win for a long time. I was just like, because I think he was getting in pretty early. He might have been keep me if I'm wrong, I might be wrong, but he was painting. He started pretty early, like in the month, and I remember just looking at this, going like, man, I can't compete with this. So, but it's beautiful. Just the color transitions as well. How he's got that little bit of the yellow tip to red to a kind of like, is it like a purpley black there? I'm not sure. I can't really see, sorry, on my screen too well, but he's done, dark purple, an amazing job. Just every single color is chosen well, really vibrant, and the goblin green base too. So 10 out of 10.
Yeah, it's a classic model from the early 90s. It's got even the classic studio color scheme on there. Yeah, he's got the nice purple accents in the black, and I think everything about that is just a winner. So well done, Steve.
Might have to hit him up and ask him
place, mate.
Yeah, might have to hit him up for that dark purple recipe because it looks really good.
Yeah, it's really nice. No, really outstanding job, mate. So now we're going to get the first place. So who picked up the first place from me for the 40K entry? Drum roll. It was William Elliott. And I think this is just amazing. It's homage to Kim Seiberg's conversions. If you're familiar with that White Dwarf, and it's just, I can't think of what White Dwarf it was, what issue, but Kim Seiberg was just... he was just, the most talented painter I've ever seen, and his conversions were just legendary. Yeah, and this is homage to that. Again, it's a really beautiful looking paint job, very smooth. Grey is not the easiest color to work with.
No, I painted a Space Wolf as well, and
you did,
like that. I've never attempted the the gray, that grayish blue. Tone, and I found it like it was pretty hard for me to get, and so he's gone like well and beyond what I can do, and it's just absolutely amazing. Like just the contrast, but he's got the light to the dark there with the gray, and it's just the face lit up and everything like that. It screams 90s, so it's beautiful. Yeah, everything is like done to perfection.
Yep, honestly, mate, it's just it's perfect. So
even the little grenade, the little grenade there, or the stripes and stuff like that.
Yeah,
to fit in there, he's that's crazy.
Even Will Goblin Green would be really impressed seeing this one, I think.
Yeah,
so
I'm sure he will be. Yeah, that's the thing. Like you look at that, and you think, Will's paint, paint jobs. You look at it and go, that's like you'd be fooled. You'd be thinking he would have painted it. So yeah. So William's done a great job.
Absolutely. Yep. No, it's brilliant. Well, he's got half the name there, William Elliott. Maybe it is Will. Yeah, this isn't an alias.
So no, it's beautifully done. Absolutely beautifully done. Yeah. And plus, he's got the old retro background too, so you got to give him a few points for that one as well.
Yeah,
blue fade.
Yeah, everything about it. It's like just out of a White Dwarf magazine. So that's for me, that's the kind of criteria I'm looking for. Yeah, I understand David's preference on looking at these very realistic kind of paint jobs, the modern sort of style. I totally get it. I can understand where he's coming from, but for me, it's got to scream 90s. That's what that's what I feel anyway. So
that's the thing, like we've come a lot. Like I suppose there are new, like myself, there's a few new people in the hobby as well, who are kind of learning, the heavy metal, like the most recent stuff, the way how to paint like that. So things are kind of changing. So to try to keep that 90s look alive. It's tough to do and tough to learn. So especially with all these new techniques and the paints are kind of different. So so he's done a really good job capturing that. Yeah, definitely. Now I'm nervous about mine. I'm like, oh shit. Yours are. I kind of chose. I'll talk about my criteria later, but yeah, yours looking great. So
it was tough, mate. It was really hard. Honestly, it's not easy. I was going, but with my criteria, I mean, there was some really nicely stuff painted there that didn't have a golden green base, and I'm like really strict. It has to have a golden green base. It has a black rim,
rules, man. Bloody hell!
It's like, dude, you could have just painted it green and afterwards painted it black. That's like. Yeah. It would have been in there, would have been a contender. But but this was a clear winner for me. But it was tough. It was really hard. Okay, let's go now to the top 3 fantasy entries, starting with third place. And I chose this one from Nick Barrett because it was really nice and colourful. It was well painted. It's got the golden green base, of course. It's got a nice 100%. Background, photographed really well. And very nicely detailed on the scales. The blue looks very nice and vibrant. It's eye-popping. It just grabbed my attention.
Yeah, that skull on the stick is very well painted. Very well painted. Just the highlights on that skull. I'm having issues painting. Not really having issues, but I feel like I haven't learnt to paint the skulls. I can't the way I really want them to, or that bone color the way I really want it to. And it's always like, I get to it and I'm always like, I'll just do it the way I usually do it, but I really need to invest in, learning it. So he's done a really good job on that. And as you said, the greens as well, the red claws, from the little yellow, it highlights to the red. Oh, delicious.
Well, Deets, how do you paint bone then, mate? What's your process for bone?
Oh, fire! How do I paint it? So I'm usually using Xandri dust, and then I water down some skeleton horn, slap it over. And then from there, I kind of highlight up from Xandri dust to bone white to a little bit of white in there. And then just kind of go through highlighting up the process. But I don't know. I've seen some really different painted skulls, they've got a bit more of not a yellow tone to it, but a bit more of a I wouldn't say a bluish tone. But yeah, sometimes I think Will Goblin Green. I've seen a few little insignia skulls he's painted. They look really, really good. I really like. So I'm trying to learn through that. But every time I paint a model, I kind of get to the skull. It's kind of the last thing I paint, teeth, bone look, and I'm like, I'm so bloody tired. I just want to get this out the door and finish it. So you know what it's like. Everyone knows.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Wrap it up. Got to go.
That's it.
But obviously, Nicky didn't do that. He stuck with it. So.
Yeah, no, it's a really good paint job. I really like it, Nick. So well done, mate, on your third place. It's well deserved. Okay, let's go to second place now. This I thought was almost going to be the winner. Actually, it was so well painted from top to bottom because the metallics are really nice and smooth and they're very well defined. The flesh tones, the red, the whites are just so pure. Everything about that was just screaming, the winner for this competition for me. And it was hard to fault, really. I thought it was really, really nicely done. The freehand and the runes on the bottom of the cloak was excellent, even down to that tiny little moon on his little shoe buckle. But the only thing that stopped it from being a winner for me was the sort of the grey, scratchy background. That if he had it on a blue white horizon kind of, I think that would have just been, it just would have just popped it even more. And I just found the back just to be a little bit distracting. So Sten, Froden, I really, really like your entry, mate, and I'm really sorry it wasn't a first place for me. But apart from that background, it was an absolute knock out of the park paint job.
I got to say, I have this mini, and I've been wanting to paint it for a while. But when you look at it, when I look at this, it's kind of like, oh wow, what he did here. Because I look at that mini and I find it really because it's a bit older. There's no real defining lines, on the back of the cape there and stuff like that. There's no. I always look at this mini and get a bit confused of what color to use where. I was always thinking, oh, do I do gold here on the back of the back of the cloak or whatever? But he's done a really, really, really well job. I kind of looked at this mini recently and said, oh, it's going to be a bit hard for me to paint, but I'm a massive high elf simp as well, as we all know. And this is amazing. I looked at this for a while, actually. I was looking at it for a while, just going, how do you do it? And the true metallics as well. he's really done really well. Like that's just absolutely like that's like nearly pretty much perfect. So, and you know how we're talking about before, kind of like the the old school style versus kind of like the newer styles. I feel like he's kind of he's the face, the skin tone, everything about it's kind of a bit more modern painting painting style. He's done really well. So this is really good. I think just the photo as well, like I think if it was a bit lighter, you could see the lighter background. It might be a bit more brightness to it. That sort of thing. I think about the competition as well. Photography is a really big. It's one of the biggest things, and if you can paint a model really well, and if you don't have the right lighting and you taking the photo and with a crappy phone or something like that, you're going to lose points in the competition anyway. Unfortunately, that's what happens with online competitions. But if you get the photography down, it'd probably take you up to the next level. So, but still beautifully done by Stan. Like I love this thing. This is amazing. So.
Yeah, no, it's a very good point from Deets. Yeah, photography is one of the integral parts of any competition, especially online. It has to be photographed very well. There's absolute pearlers in that gallery if you go to look through them, because there's one guy who's just got it's just like a blur. It's like a smudge. It's not even a clear photo, and the other ones are sort of on the angle, so you got to crook your neck to see what it is. So photography is really paramount. So unless you photograph your models that you spent all that time on painting really well to a really good standard, it's gonna be a sort of a negative factor in the judging. Okay, so that was the second place. So Stan, thank you very much for your entry. It was awesome. Now, drum roll for the first place. I actually mentioned this in the podcast with David, and it just never left my mind when I first saw this miniature. It is Max Desmond's awesome Gary Morley. There's 2 Gary Morley models now. Chaos Warrior from Warhammer Quest. Technically, there are other models that were painted better. I think Desmond would agree with me, but I think it was just screaming at me 1990s or 1995 when Warhammer Quest was released, and I think everything about that model, it's painted very, very well. I love all the non-metallic metal on the armor. I think that's really hard to pull off and look good. But the color, it's just screaming out at me, and it's just Wayne England.
That's the way it should be.
Look at Wayne England. It's brilliant.
It is, and I think miniature selection. That's what I'll talk about later. But miniature selection is kind of like I feel like the paint jobs are one thing, but miniature selection is is just as probably as important to me than the paint job as well. Like. What is it? So like it's the same thing. I painted a Warhammer Quest Dwarf Slayer, and that thing to me is something that I've always had in the back of my mind. It's just quite iconic, like this miniature as well. So that that's what it comes down to. It all adds up in the end. You got the paint, photography, and the miniature selection. I think when you're really thinking about it, you could do the best bloody paint job on a monopose wood elf or something like that, and it doesn't have that that impact. That these minis have. So I think I'm with you on that one. And this screams 90s. And even the technique he's kind of done, he's kind of done you can see the brush strokes there, highlighting. It's beautifully done, like amazing. Those horns as well.
I mean, the non-metallic metal on the axe is really, really hard to get off. It's got a really nice cartoonish look to it. That's why I thought, Wayne England, that just reminds me of that kind of illustration, his graphic sort of style. Then you got Gary's sculpting. And then you got that really nice cartoony paint job, and I think everything about that, for me, it was just a clear winner right from the start when I was looking through it. So, Max Desmond, thank you and congratulations. You are the winner for the fantasy entry. Now he's done very well. We're going to exit out of this now. We're going to go straight to Deets' entries here. So let me just show that now. Here we go. Why is it not showing up?
So what? You got it? No.
Hang on, mate. Give me 2 seconds. I just selected it.
I'll kind of run through why you're getting that ready. Kind of the way.
Here.
You got it?
I'm a twit. Here we go.
Yep.
I'm a twit. I'm not very good at this. Okay, so here we go.
So I'll just run you through kind of what my thought process. I really didn't do these in kind of like a first, second, or third. I've kind of just pick like kind of 3 winners, which I really like. I've got a really bad habit. I quite indecisive with things. I'm kind of all over the shop in my life and with everything. So I like literally spent 2 hours like going back and forth between minis and things and things. I haven't really chosen just based purely as we're talking just about the paint job as well. I've chosen about like kind of aesthetically wise, like why I love it. And there's some things about it. I know it is Olden Demon, but some things that just like really, I don't know, they kind of got me and I couldn't stop looking. And they were kind of the minis I chose. I know that there's, I didn't choose everything with a Goblin Green base, unfortunately, even though
that's fine, mate. That's fine.
Goblin Green base. And I would probably never enter a mini into the Olden Demon without a Goblin Green base. But that these are kind of, just kind of like aesthetically why, and just things that kind of just, I don't know why they stuck with me, painting techniques, all sorts of things as well. And some of these did place in, they didn't win the competition, but they did, get up there and stuff like that as well. They were kind of mentioned as well. So, So anyway, I'll take you through. First, we'll do 40K, and then we'll move on to fantasy. So, when you're ready.
Cool. Okay. So I haven't seen Deets' entry, so I'm really excited to know what he chose. So let's go.
Yeah.
So, nice.
Yeah, I chose this Imperial Guard Sentinel by Ben, and I follow him on Instagram as well. And man, I was kind of watching him create this thing as well. I'm pretty sure it's a bit of a kit bash, or not kit bash so much, but he swapped out Old Mate on top. But as we were saying, like, larger minis don't really, because they're harder to photograph and whatnot.
Yeah.
And I feel like, man, he did a cracking job with this. He's got, the light kind of on the, a little bit of light here hitting on the panels. He's kind of like ticked all the boxes for me. And I think, it's sculpted by, who's the one sculpted by? I'm pretty sure it's a mix. I know it's Michael Perry and Norman Swales. Yeah. So he's kind of combined these two. And I feel like the effort that's gone into this and the paint work is, top tier for me. And I really do love that khaki yellow. It just, it just kind of like screams Astra Militarum to me and stuff like that. So so it's one of my, I remember seeing him in the creative process doing this, and it just really did stick with me. And I was surprised not to see it, up there. So
No, I agree, mate. I looked at that as well from Ben's photo here, and I thought it was a really cracking paint job. And sadly, it just didn't make it in my top 3, but I thought it was a very, very good, excellent painting, excellent photography, and it's got the Goblin Green matte.
He's gone for it. He's put the blue fade background on there too, so you got to give him points for that.
Yeah.
I just think, and I think effort as well comes into it.
Absolutely.
I see a lot of effort go into things, and I feel like just everything about it, like just even the reds on the bandana, just you see that little pop there. It's very, very readable. You can read it really well. That's why I kind of chose this. Now I didn't do them in like third, second, or first. These are just kind of like my top 3.
No, mate, that's good. No, I prefer you didn't do that. I like it. But great choice, mate. Honestly, it's awesome work, Ben. So well done.
Yeah, good job, Ben.
Okay, let's go to the next one. Ooh.
Yeah. Now, obviously, John, top bloke, John Murphy. I've had him on my channel, and he actually sent. I've got one of his minis. He's we did a mini swap a few months ago.
Oh, right.
And so I've seen what he's kind of capable of. Like I've seen like firsthand in my hand one of his miniatures, and I know that if I had this thing in my hand, how amazing this miniature would be. I feel like he could, because we're here in Australia. Obviously, we don't have a Golden Demon here in Australia. I feel like he's at the level where he could compete easily. In Golden Demon. Murph, he's a real wonderful guy and an amazing painter. And even this miniature here, like Elementus paint scheme, the yellow, and even the checkers and the banner, just everything. It screams 90s to me. And I know he did do a pop of, he's got a bit of a pop of green in there too, and a pinky purple, but everything is done so well. And I know and even you look at the bolter as well, just everything about it, it's just spot on for me. And he's done the blue fade, the Goblin Green base. It's just everything. I know if I had this miniature in my hand, I would just be like in awe of it. I know how well Murph paints, and he's an absolute legend as well. So he's taught me a lot, taught me a lot of things. You can kind of pick up what he does. So he's,
No, that's a knockout painter. Now his online handle for Instagram. What's that again?
Drucci
What's
Gang.
his name? That's it, Drucci Gang.
Yep.
Yeah, he does.
Drucci Gang. Sorry, Drucci Gang.
I remember. seen him on one of your videos. Yeah.
Yeah,
Now I've got to go on the podcast, old John, too, because he's an awesome painter.
he is, and he's a really, really nice guy. And you know, he could. I keep saying to him, you could start your own channel. He sent me kind of like when we're doing our collaboration.
Yeah.
He can explain. He's kind of like, I think he's a teacher. He does like music teacher, so he can explain things really, really well. He's really good. He's an amazing painter, and these yellows and everything just pops. And it just, I think, you know, he won it. He came second or third last year with the Eldar Mini, and so I feel like this for me, like as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh God, he's done it again. So yeah, Bloody Murphy's good.
No, it's awesome, mate. No, they're really, he's an outstanding painter. And I like you, I follow him on Instagram, and he did something recently of another Dark Elf model.
Dark Elf,
and that was really outstanding. He's a knockout painter, mate.
Yeah, he entered the guild.
And like you said, like on the video that I saw with you when you collaborate on that miniature swap, he's got a really good way of presenting and very good way of talking, and his the video of his painting. He's using an airbrush too, actually.
Yeah, he's airbrush too.
Yeah, got an airbrush. Really good.
Added to the equipment, No, but I couldn't go past it. I couldn't go past it. I know, and I'm a bit biased because I know him, but I know what he's capable of.
No.
I'm like,
he's an outstanding painter.
Yeah, and this one did place. This one did. I think it didn't win or anything like that. But I know, like, it's definitely up there. So
got
even the blonde hair, the skin tone, the blonde hair, compared to he's done blonde with the yellow armor, and some of it's kind of, he just kept it, just everything, every color choice is pretty good, I feel. So and the freehands as well. Can't go wrong with some freehand flames.
Oh the banner's great. I love a good banner.
You love a good banner. I need to get more time to do more banners. So definitely.
Yeah. No, it's really good. Well done, John. That's an excellent entry, mate. Okay, let's go to the other one. Sorry, not third, second place. First place, just all winners. They're all winners.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure he painted this one like a little bit before the comp, but and he entered it. But I don't know, man. This Harlequin really gets me. Just the freehands, I'm really getting to my freehands lately. I love doing freehands. I've been trying to get better at it, and everything he's done here is just like on another level, completely on another level. And I understand, it's a bit of a newer painting style, but I feel like to keep the old hammer alive, sometimes these modern paint jobs really do bring them back to life. And it makes them, because I feel like sometimes these older sculpts get a bit of flack for being ugly and all this and that, but I feel like with the right painter making the right decisions, you can really kind of elevate some minis up to another level. So I looked at this for a while and I was like, tossing and turning on it, but I couldn't say no to that.
No, he's another excellent painter on Instagram as well. I follow him and his work. Outstanding painter. Did he get into the top 3 last year too for another Eldar model?
Yep, I'm pretty sure he did. But there's no Goblin Green base. I think. Yeah, no Goblin Green base in the background. So got to take some points over there for sure.
I mean, again, like I said, like these are outstanding paint jobs, and I know it's done in a very modern style, which I have nothing against. I think the technical ability to do that, like highlighting over the freehand and all that kind of stuff, is just amazing, and a far better painter than I could ever be. But
I look at that. That's the thing. I look at this and just go like, oh, how is this possible? But just to elevate like an older miniature like that.
That's right.
I just go, oh, well, and it gets more eyes on it. You don't want these things to die. So
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I follow a lot of people on Instagram who do the modern style and old miniatures. I really respect that. I think it's a really nice homage to the old miniatures, but in a new style. And again, it gives you a different reflection, different look at what those old models can be like with a new modern paint job. So okay, mate. So that's excellent, Hindarian. Well done.
Yep. And so next one, I just did a quick shout out to one more page, just like if you go to the next slide.
Oh, cool. Okay,
you'll go to the next one. I did like just a few others I really liked. There, just a shout out for 3 others that I kept going back and forth, like, oh no, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. So yeah, you've got the Carnifex Avid on there and the Elder Warlock by Steve Joe and I don't know how to pronounce his name. Savario. Yeah. So
Savario.
Yep. So yeah, so this is a quick shout out to those three. So love these guys as well.
Yep. No, they all bring something different. I like the conversion of a bat in there. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. That's what reason why I really liked it. I was like, oof, this looks pretty good. So anyway, they're my they're just a little bit of a shout out.
Cool, mate. No, that's good. Well done,
move
mate.
on now.
Okay, let's go to the next one.
And so, this is my I chose this one because I'm really looking. I suppose this is the difference between you and I. You're going for that real classic, while I'm kind of like looking at these miniatures, and I have been looking into a bit of like Mordheim books and just trying to get into a bit Mordheim recently, and I feel like Francisco here has really elevated this model with the base and everything like that as well. I want to kind of get into doing I suppose what do you call them, like pieces with a bit more oomph. So he's kind of gone all out with this one for the red bricks and everything like that as well. Fish on the shield, and even the back, there's a little bit of warp stone on the back side of it as well. It's more of more of like a statement piece, I guess. And I know I even look at the paint scheme and stuff like that, and the metallics, and I couldn't go past this one. When I saw this, when the competition was, when it was kind of happening, I just kept looking at it going, oh man, how do you do it? I want to do more stuff like this. So it's kind of, for me, it's a bit more of a personal thing. I'd love to be at the level to kind of create this as well.
Yeah, it actually really suit what you do too, actually, Deets, as well, because you don't game, you just paint. And I think doing that kind of stuff would be really suited to what you do. To paint something really nicely and then put on a nice thematic scenic base and that kind of thing, little diorama. So,
it's kind of, I suppose I'm picking inspirational picks.
That's good, mate. Yeah, it's good. It's great.
So even a little cage there and like that. So Francisco's done a really good job. I love this thing. It's beautiful, and I love the mini too. So, and I love Mordheim as well. It's something that I've kind of really been getting into. So
I've got to say, I loved your Mordheim terrain building video, mate. I really enjoyed that. I hope there's more of that to come, because I really enjoyed that whole process from start to finish kind of thing.
Thank you. Really cool. Definitely want to get more do some more terrain. So we'll have to wait and see. But I've got a few projects on the way, a few big ones like that. So they're good, man. The only problem is they take so bloody long to get done. It's a 3-week slog, and you're sitting there watching your YouTube views plummet. You start panicking. You're like, I'm gonna get something out. I gotta get something out. And man, they've got me wrapped around their finger. So
Deets, don't be like, don't panic, mate. You got wonderful people supporting your channel and on your Patreon. So and like I said to people I follow, just take your time. Just because whatever you're going to do is going to be really, really nice when it comes out. So don't ever feel stressed or pressured by YouTube, mate. So
exactly.
All right, so Francisco, wonderful work. I think it's amazing you fitted all of that on a little base. That's incredible.
It's incredible.
So
it's crazy.
Wonderful.
Beautiful
work. All right, let's go to the next one, mate.
Yep.
Ooh.
So another one, kind of a more modern paint scheme, I guess. No Goblin Green base again, but he's got the blue faded background, so you can't. So this one here, everyone knows I'm a high elf simp, and I like looking at this miniature. It's not your typical blue and whites for your high elves, but it's kind of like a color scheme that I really like, that I'd probably paint my Reavers or something like that. But I just looking at it, just the skin to the way he's kind of done the metallics, not really metallics, but the non-metallic metal there, just everything about it. I really, really love it. It kind of screams high elves to me. And I know he's got the darker hair. I would have gone for a bit of more of a blonde color scheme for my high elves. But it's kind of like a nice take, a little bit different, different than your typical high elf paint scheme. Just shows the bit of versatility there. You can kind of change up the schemes a little bit. But I love this as well. It's a really just a great sculpt. Everything about it I really love. So I don't know if it is the 90s. I don't think it is a 90s mini as well. It might be the early 2000s. But I really loved it. I one another one I just kept looking at and kind of kept getting inspired by. So but this one's by Mago Booker 8 Baku. So Mago Baku 8.
Baku. Baku. Okay.
Mago Baku 8. So
I was going to say the transitions on that axe blade are just wow. I mean, I don't think I'm that bad at non-metallic metals, but that is just off the wall.
Yeah,
really amazing. Like the amount of transitions that would have to go through the blend to get that kind of really smooth definition there is amazing. I actually thought it was a dark elf when I first saw this one.
Yeah,
but of course you're right. It is a high elf, isn't it? Because it's got the purple, magenta. And it's got a very dark looking scheme.
That's why I really loved it. I just, and even the little freehand there, you can see the little that little freehand on the robes there, and also a pop of pink. I love a good pop of pink or purple in my miniatures as well. So it's kind of ticked all the boxes there for me. Very different. It's a bit different. I understand, very different, but I still think it's great. Yeah,
mate. No, it's a really good pick, mate. I don't remember seeing this one myself, so I'm really glad I got to look at this one now, because technically, again, it's absolutely off the charts good.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So amazing.
Balls to the wall. It's crazy. So
that's right.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to the next slide, mate.
Okay, Ooh. So this one here.
Wow.
I love Chaos Dwarves as well. And I know this one, I'm not sure what miniature it's from or where it's from.
You know where this is from? This is this is a extremely rare mail order only from like 1980 somewhere.
Okay.
Chaos Dwarf Siege Tower. Like this is someone showed me this recently. And because the dwarves had like a land airship, and this is what they gave to the Chaos Dwarves.
Yeah. So this one here was like, another larger mini. And I know it's not painted in the traditional, like 90s kind of, the massive edge highlights, but kind of like, it's kind of like a watercolor piece to me, and it's the impact of it as well. I just loved it, and I kind of fell in love with it. And it's another miniature that's kind of like stuck in my mind, that I can't look away from. And I just think like the amount of effort that's gone into it, and of course miniature selection as well really played into this one for me. It's just beautiful, everything about it, and I find it funny as well. Like it's a bit of a hilarious monstrosity of a miniature as well. So I just love that about it. It's absolutely crazy. So. Yeah, when I saw it, I remember like I was looking at the comp and I'm like, man, this is just like insane. It's insanity. Like I would love to paint something like this. It'd be absolutely amazing. So yeah, I just thought this one here, and even the base, how the base kind of the color scheme of the rocks and just everything about it kind of complements even the miniature as well. It's just really well thought out. There's nothing really, nothing really just is out of place for me. I feel like even though the painting style's not the greatest, in the world, like, whatever, not the most ultra realistic. I just feel like the color scheme, the color palette, the tone of it, it just really, it's just spot on for me. So couldn't say no to this guy.
No, it's an interesting pick. I don't remember seeing this one either in the gallery, so it's an interesting one as well that you found.
Yeah, I think it was down the bottom somewhere. So yeah,
right. Okay, maybe that's why. But yeah, I mean, it's an amazing model to have initially. Don't show your wife the price tag if you ever buy this one here, Deets, because it'll be in the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars, I'd imagine.
I wouldn't have a wife.
So exactly. It's an easy divorce.
Let me have one.
Trigger that one. Yeah.
Jeez. Yeah.
But yeah, I like the Oldhammer sort of style base, and it is a very Oldhammer style paint job and everything. So it's great. Yeah, it's really good. Nice pick. So good work, Mikhail. Very nice.
Yeah. And I got the next page. The next page I got 3 more just little shout outs.
Ah, nice.
So, and these ones here, I guess I had your high elf mage there, the green terror, which was kind of up there as well.
Yeah,
and
that's
the
great too.
Hero, Bertrand. So so these 3 were just 3 that I thought were painted really, really well as well. So yeah.
Deet, you done well, mate. I think you're going to be the next judge for 2025. You need to.
I don't know, man. Probably some angry Oldhammer people out there. Like, wait, where's the bloody green base? And where's the blue fade? I'm like, I'm sorry. So, I'll just be apologizing. I'm like, I'm sorry. So no, I just chose mine because I obviously I'm kind of, I've only been really painting the last couple of years, really
Yeah,
getting
mate.
into it
Yeah.
and stuff. But I just thought that, these things just kind of stood out to me, more of a personal picks, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, but I'm glad you like them, Josh. And your picks, mate?
No, I really do. I really do. The Green Terror is an incredible paint job, like you were talking about before, like an old miniature that was designed in 1990, 1991, 1992,
Crazy,
something like that, with an incredible modern paint job, and just like the reflection underneath that ball there, bloody hell, it's just insanely good. So
I because he was sharing it in your Discord, I'm pretty sure, and I was just like, I'm done. I'm gonna throw my mini in the bin. I was like, that's it. I can't compete with this. I can't compete with this stuff. Like, what's going on here? So there's some talented people out there.
Mate, there is. And David said that himself. He said he's always surprised at the quality of the paint jobs he's receiving in these entries. And I urge anybody to just get involved and give it a go. Just get it in there. Get it in the gallery. You can
exactly. I said it to my Patrons. Yeah, I said it to my Patrons. Yeah. Like, just go for it. Like,
just do it.
And it kind of, when you enter these competitions, it kind of elevates you a bit because you're taking that extra time with the mini. You're not rushing through. You're not, doing an army paint. It just, and you kind of, I feel like every year. Well, I've only entered the last 2 years, but for both my minis, I've learned something new for both of them. So, yeah, but it's just a fun time of year, really. So, and you know what? I'm happy we didn't choose everything exactly the same, because it would have been a pretty boring stream if we had 3 for 3.
Yeah, that's the situation. I'm not going to take a peek of what you had. I just want it to be a nice surprise. And you didn't see what my entries were, and we did have some contrasting entries, but it made it more interesting that way. And we both have our sort of personal kind of preferences in terms of what we think is really up there and what we think should be. But then I think everyone did a great job, and anybody who enters all have a chance to get that kind of well, just having it featured on David's channel, I think that'd be really nice. 100%. And he chose a lot of great stuff. Not the most technically brilliant, but he thought that looks really nice. I'm really glad that person did that or painted that model. And
exactly, it's just kind of celebrating it. You know what I mean? It's that time every single minute just celebrates these minis. It brings them back. Like every like when I was going through them, I'm like, man, I need to have a bloody list and writing down what I'm trying to find on eBay next. I'm like, all right, got to get that guy. Got to get that guy. So it's just kind of like a shopping list for me this year. So
yeah, mate,
you can go to visit the Olden Demon website to see them all. So yeah,
just don't show the wife, mate. Keep it secret. Keep it safe.
Secret. Exactly right.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, Deets, mate, it's been absolutely awesome to have you on. I know you're pressed for time, mate, because I know you're heading out for a wedding today. Is it your own wedding?
So not my wedding. No, it's a friend's wedding, but I'll be celebrating. So you probably won't hear from me for tomorrow. I'll probably be depressed in bed or something like that. So we'll see how we go. Probably won't have too many beers, but I always say that. And then lucky I'm not driving. The missus is driving, so it's gonna be a good time.
Oh, that's all right. Oh, that's okay. Well, mate, that's awesome.
Like, can we get some Maccas on the way home? That's going to be me. I just know it now. So.
All right, my friend. Well, it's been really good, mate. It's been an absolute pleasure. We're going to do it again because we're sort of limited time. We didn't get to go through all the comments, so I really apologise to everybody who wanted to come to say hello to Deets. But
thanks, guys.
He can check those out later.
Yep.
And I think my voice is failing me. So if you don't want to hear Lord Croak, then we better start wrapping up the show here so Deets can get ready and go to the wedding today for his friend to celebrate their wonderful day. So Deets, again, mate, just want to say to everybody, please check out Anvil of Doom miniature YouTube channel. Check out Deets' Patreon as well. Please, guys, go and check out and support the people that you love to watch on YouTube and to help them and support them making videos for you guys. And to say, mate, look forward to the next video.
Yeah, thanks, mate. Look forward to seeing some stuff from you as well soon. So, and thanks everyone for jumping on. I appreciate it.
All right, guys. All right, mate. Well, you take care. Enjoy the wedding. Don't drink too much, and we'll get in touch soon.
I'll send you a message at 5 o'clock tonight. Might be a bit slurred, but
yeah, good on you, mate. Right. Yeah, give me the drunk photo.
Yeah, all right, done. All right, thanks, guys.
All right. Thanks, everybody in the chat, and hope you have a great evening or day, wherever you might be. And we'll catch you again for the next live stream. So, again, guys, take care. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Cheers. Thanks, guys.